Tonight on KGW News, did you see the smoke?
When I walked outside, it just smelled like burning plastic, real bad in the air.
What sent up this huge plume and how crews used what they had on hand to help put out the flames. Plus,
I promise you this, I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
Donald Trump's pick for vice president touts his working class background. Highlights from night 3 of the Republican National Convention. Then, wait until you hear how much Multnomah County paid just to create a new mission statement. And later,
the highest, honor and achievement that you could ever have as an athlete is to win a gold medal for your country.
An Oregon basketball legend gets ready to hit the Olympic court for the very first time. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin at 11 with a huge cloud of smoke that was hanging over parts of the Portland area for much of the afternoon and evening, generated by a massive fire at a recycling center. And it is not the first time flames have sparked in that particular spot. John Adams has the update from North Portland.
The fire started earlier this afternoon at Radius Recycling, formerly known as Schnitzer Steel. At one point, over 100 firefighters were here on scene, battling that fire.
North Portland under a thick cloud of smoke this afternoon after a large scrap heap filled with crushed cars and old appliances caught fire, prompting a massive response from fire crews.
And we have 171 people on duty every day. We probably have over half that here from Portland Fire.
Fire crews worked in tandem with workers at the facility to contain the fire by using large cranes to move fuel off the burning scrap heap.
There are articulating cranes that are grabbing material and moving, reducing the size of the fuel on the pile. As that fuel is in the claw and being transferred, crews are hitting that with a nozzle to make sure that the material is not on fire.
Fire crews also pumped water right out of the river to put on the flames. The main cause of concern for the community was heavy smoke.
There's probably a lot of bad stuff that's going up. You can tell by the taste and smell.
Aaliyah Kim is a business owner in the Linton area. Kim was concerned about her dogs who were outside for part of the afternoon.
When I walked outside, it just smelled like burning plastic, real bad in the air. And so I don't know how long my dogs were exposed to it, but I was concerned at that point and brought them in the house.
This is the second time in just a few months a fire has happened at this same facility.
It's not pleasant. I don't know what they can do about it. I don't know what we can do about it, but definitely isn't nice.
Crews are expected to be here until midnight or later to make sure no new fires break out on that scrap heap. In North Portland, John Adams, KGW News.
To an update now in Benton County, where the sheriff's office tells us it has recovered the body of renowned chef Naomi Pomroy. Pomroy was floating the Willamette River in Corvallis on Saturday with her husband and some friends when authorities say their inner tubes and paddleboard, which were tied together, hit some sort of snag in the water and Pomroy went under. Deputies say people canoeing the river found her body today between Corvallis and Albany. Her family has been notified. Pomroy was a legend in the culinary industry who won a James Beard Award and is widely credited with helping make Portland's food scene what it is today. Naomi Pomroy was 49 years old. Well, on the third night of the Republican National Convention, all eyes were on the junior senator from Ohio as J.D. Vance made his first official remarks as former President Trump's vice presidential pick. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Milwaukee.
Former President Trump greeting his supporters tonight before ceding the spotlight to his political heir apparent, newly announced vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance.
I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
The one-time Trump critic, now a fierce America First ally.
Tonight we celebrate he is our once and future President of the United States.
The first-term Ohio senator backs hardline policies on issues from immigration to abortion and opposing additional aid for Ukraine. A Marine veteran who served in Iraq. Senator Vance laying out his personal story, growing up in rural poverty, detailed in a best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Vance is the first millennial on a major party ticket in a race rocked by the horrific assassination attempt against former President Trump.
My father came under literal fire as an incredible patriotic rally turned into a tragedy.
Several convention speakers questioned President Biden's strength on a night themed Make America Strong Again that saw Gold Star families who lost loved ones in the Afghanistan withdrawal take the stage.
There has been a deafening silence from the Biden and Harris administration.
A somber and powerful moment amid a night of celebration for the Republican Party ticket. Supporters I've spoken to hope that Senator Vance's personal story will appeal to blue-collar voters in critical battleground states and help to cement the Trump wing of the Republican Party into 2028 and beyond. In Milwaukee, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, we had a chance to check in tonight with one of Oregon's delegates at the convention. He is State Rep Court Boyce, who represents parts of the Oregon coast, and he described the experience at his first national convention as unifying.
Just so many like-minded people here that love Oregon, love America, very strong in their faith. There's no white supremacists here. There's no haters here. There's just people that want to solve problems, maintain their quality of life, and really boost the future of their kids and the generations to follow.
So Boyce represents Oregon's first district that includes Coos, Curry, and Douglas counties. Meanwhile, President Biden has touched down in Delaware after he was forced to cancel a campaign event in Las Vegas after he tested positive for COVID. Earlier today, before his diagnosis, he had met with people at a restaurant. The White House says the president has mild symptoms and has taken his first dose of Paxlovid. The president plans to isolate at his home in Delaware while continuing to fulfill, the White House says, his presidential duties. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, two brothers from Pendleton have pleaded guilty to charges in connection with the 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. According to federal prosecutors, 24-year-old Jonathan Peter Klein and 27-year-old Matthew Klein entered a restricted area at the Capitol during the January 6th riot. Then, court documents indicate Jonathan Peter, a self-identified member of the Proud Boys, threw a piece of AV equipment, hitting a police officer in his helmet. The brothers also interfered with officers who were trying to secure a door. They will be sentenced in November. A federal appeals court has sided with the family of a Clark County man shot and killed in 2020. You may remember the family of Kevin Peterson filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Clark County Sheriff's Office. The 21-year-old was shot during a failed drug sting in a Hazeldale parking lot. The sheriff at the time originally said Peterson shot at deputies first, but an independent investigation found no evidence to suggest that. Peterson's family says it is pleased with the ruling and now want to see reform in the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
They want accountability, they want justice, and they want to make sure this does not happen to any other families.
A jury trial in the civil matter is now scheduled in federal court for early next year. And Portland City Commissioner and mayoral candidate Renee Gonzalez is receiving enhanced protection following an online threat. Staffers for Gonzalez say they discovered a social media post Sunday, hours after the assassination attempt on former President Trump. It depicted the commissioner centered in firearm crosshairs, along with a threatening message. The city, by the way, has provided Gonzalez with around-the-clock security since January, when someone set a vehicle outside his southeast Portland home on fire. Well, new at 11, a new spending line in Multnomah County's budget is raising some eyebrows. Leaders reportedly hired a consulting firm to create a new mission statement at a price tag of $250,000. For that sum, the Oregonian reporting the county got a grand total of 7 sentences describing its mission and priorities. The firm reportedly spent a year surveying county employees and focus groups and wrote up an 89-page report that lays out everything they did. County leaders telling the Oregonian the statement will serve as a first step in creating a, quote, indispensable organization plan. Again, $250,000 there. Well, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek unveiled a new proposal with big money to try to boost the amount of funding schools get from the state by about $500 million. The governor's office says the changes would address an increase in inflation, declining enrollment, and loss of federal pandemic relief. The goal here to have funding that more accurately matches what schools need and what they have been asking for. The governor now directing state agencies to change the way funding is divided up over the 2-year budget so districts will get slightly more money in year 2. She's also asking for compensation costs for teachers and other staff to be calculated based on more recent data, so last 10 instead of 20 years. And the third step would make sure local property tax fluctuations are taken into account for the full 2-year budget cycle. We will see. Straight ahead at 11, neighbors recount the harrowing moments fire crews helped prevent a wildfire from reaching their homes. Plus, a standout in Eugene now goes all in for the gold in Paris. We are counting down with our 10 to watch.
And a lot of gold in the sky today, so another great sunset as we're back to a clear sky after the showers and storms and clouds of last night and even this morning. We've got another warm up on the way as we go to the weekend. We'll let you know how long that one will last.